What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of DS? Car enthusiasts might recall fond memories of the classic 50s Citroen, while others might bemoan the compromised models of more recent times. Some of you, quite understandably, may have no associations with the brand whatsoever. Whatever you think or don't think of DS, it's impossible to ignore the fact that this is a brand on a mission to mix it with the big premium players like BMW, Mercedes and Audi. But historically, that hasn't been a strong point for the French, at least not outside of their home market. So is this the product to turn it all around? Is this the car to tempt those regional managers out of their 5 Series, their E-Class or their A6? Well, we're here to find out. This is the DS9, an electrified flagship for the DS brand. When every other manufacturer is ditching big executive saloon cars in favour of SUVs, it may come as some surprise that the DS9 isn't an SUV, but, wait for it, a big executive saloon car. But stick with us because there's actually plenty to get excited about. But just look at it, it's stunning. I mean, you might think these headlights and the grille are a little bit chintzy, and that's not to mention the chrome line that runs the length of the bonnet. But overall, the lines are clean and proportionally, it is perfect. But let's be honest, looks are subjective, and it's more important that you like it than I do. So let us know what you think of it in the comments, and while you're there, subscribe to the Driving Electric YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Anyway, moving back to the task in hand and moving rearwards, you've got this coupe-style sloping roofline that extends all the way to the boot lid, and you've got these lights on the C-pillars, which are a clear throwback to the 50s original that we mentioned earlier. In terms of practicality, the boot measures 510 litres. Now obviously the usual saloon-bodied compromises have had to have been made, but there's plenty of space in there for your luggage or your shopping, and there is some space under the floor for the charge cables because yes, this DS9 is a plug-in hybrid, but more on engines and specs in a little bit. Now we are quite used to quirky DS interiors. You only need to look at the smaller DS3 Crossback for evidence of that. There are diamonds everywhere. But thankfully, the DS9 is more closely aligned with DS7 SUVs. In fact, you know what? Apart from the fact that you sit much lower, it feels near enough identical in here. The cabin is classy, there's lots of soft touch materials, and we love this Bentley style clock above the start-stop button. And then there's these 2 big screens. They look great. It's a shame that the climate controls are hidden away in there, but you can't have everything. These seats are just gorgeous, and it's the same story in the back as well. They're just so soft and comfortable, or at least they feel that way having sat here for a few minutes. Our drive of the DS9 will have to wait a little bit longer. As mentioned earlier, the DS9 is available as a plug-in hybrid. The nature of this segment means there's no fully electric version for the time being. 4-wheel drive models will arrive later, but in the UK at least, the DS9 will launch only with front-wheel drive. These E-Tense models use a 1.6 litre turbocharged petrol engine and an electric motor for a combined power output of 222 brake horsepower. DS says that the 11.9 kilowatt-hour battery will return around 30 miles of electric running, and you'll get 188 miles per gallon. Now expect 0 to 62 miles an hour in around 8 seconds. DS9 drivers will be able to charge their cars using a 7 kilowatt home wall box in around an hour and a half. As is often the case, there is regenerative braking to take advantage of, whilst all the usual electric, hybrid and e-save drive modes apply. Early indications suggest that the performance line variant is likely to be the biggest seller just by a small margin, but you get everything from 19-inch wheels to LED lights to those 2 12-inch screens inside and electric. Everything. But this is a luxury car aimed at the premium manufacturers, so the Rivoli, the top spec model, brings extra luxury features like full leather on the inside. That's replacing the Alcantara of the performance line variant. You also get DS's drive assist package and all of the semi-autonomous functions that includes. Prices for the DS9 E-Tense performance line will start at £46,100, rising to £49,200 for the range-topping Rivoli trim. While that might sound like a lot, it's less than you pay for a like-for-like BMW or Mercedes. UK order books for the DS are set to open soon, with deliveries expected to start later in the year. While the DS9 bucks the trend for big, posh, premium SUVs, we can't help but admire what the brand is doing. It feels every bit as special as its rivals, and thanks to its plug-in hybrid powertrain, it should be able to mix it with the big executive cars in this class. Of course, the usual caveat applies that we can't give a final verdict until we've driven the car, but that's something we'll be doing in the next few months.
Head to DrivingElectric.com for all the latest electric and hybrid car advice, news and reviews, and check us out on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram.